Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will teach you how to make Kina, and in this video I will show you my ways of making Kina. Obviously, besides my ways, there are other ways as well, about which I won't be talking today, because if I don't do it, then I just think it doesn't really apply, or I just think that some other thing is better or easier or more pleasant or whatever. So in this video you're gonna see how I personally make my Kina, and more importantly how I spend my Kina, because this is also a very important topic. So from the get-go, guys, you should know that Kina is in PvE. Doing PvP things doesn't really give you Kina. So in order obviously for you to enchant your PvP gear or get the stones or other things PvP related, then you need to do PvP content. Sieges, 6v6, Dredgens, Neverwinter Canyon, so on and so forth. If you want to get Kina, maybe you want to buy the stones, or maybe you want to buy other things that are useful in the game, then you need to go to the PvE side of things. The better your PvE gear, the easier time you're gonna have making the Kina and being efficient at it. Yeah. Thing number one, which is instanced PvE content. So what can you do in Aeon in terms of instance PvE? You can do every day one run of Garden of Knowledge bonus, and you can do every week one run of the regular Garden of Knowledge. Garden of Knowledge, as you know, is a 3-man dungeon. However, after a week of doing it with a 3-man, you can have enough gear to get to a 1,200 PvE rating in terms of PvE attack, after which you can easily solo or duo at most the Garden of Knowledge, the bonus and the regular version. Personally, I can never solo Garden of Knowledge because I have too many guildies that want to do it with me, so I do it with them. However, if I would solo Garden of Knowledge, which is what I recommend that you do, I would probably get 1.5, maybe 2 million Kina after each Garden of Knowledge run. So now let's open up a calculator and let's calculate how much Kina can you get per week from reset to reset from Garden of Knowledge only, assuming you sell the yellow drops to the merchant and you don't break them for fragments. Depends what you need in Aeon. If right now you need Kina for the next 3 weeks, then there's no point of you breaking the items for the Mana Stone unlock fragments, because you need Kina more. If you need Mana Stone unlock fragments because by chance you got a purple drop, a red drop, or you crafted yourself some purple, or you upgraded some purple, then definitely break those items, but in that week you're going to be making less Kina, or maybe no Kina at all from Garden. So let's just calculate, assuming you just need Kina, because this video is all about Kina. 7 runs of bonus Garden per week, plus another 4 runs of regular Garden, assuming you have a gold pack. That's 11 runs of Garden. 11 runs of Garden multiplied by 2 million each, because you're either doing or soloing. That is 22 million Kina. We're gonna open a notepad and we're gonna add 22 million Kina just from your weekly Garden. Another thing you can do is Mirage Refuge. Mirage Refuge is is a solo man dungeon, and from Mirage you also have 4 runs of Mirage every week. Yeah. In Mirage you can also get the same as in Garden. You can also get maybe not as much money, but you can also get easily about 1 million Kina after each Mirage run. So we are going to do another 4 million Kina, so 22 million plus another 4 from 4 runs of Mirage every week. That is 26 million Kina a week just from these 2 simple entry-level dungeons. The next piece of instance content is obviously Holy Tower and Naraqali. Holy Tower and Naraqali are also easy dungeons that you can easily do with your pre-made, with your guildies, yeah, and you can do 4 runs of Naraqali per week and 4 runs of Holy Tower per week, assuming again you have a gold pack active on your account. If you don't, you can do fewer runs, but you get my point, yeah. Now, from each Naraqali run, you do it 6-man, and you can easily get from there 2 purples, because there's plenty of purple, 2 yellows, sorry, there's plenty of yellows that drop there, plenty to share with the group members, and so on and so forth. So let's assume the minimum amount you get 2 yellows, yeah, because you roll on them, you share them with your friends, and you yourself got 2 yellows. Depending on which yellow you get, like, I don't know, maybe you can get a belt or maybe you get a weapon, you can easily get 2.5 to 3 million kina from the yellows that you just sell to the merchant, yeah? 3 million kina multiplied by 4 runs a week, that is 12 million kina. So we're gonna add 26 from the previous 2 dungeons plus 12, that's already 38 million kina a week. Now, Holy Tower. In Holy Tower there's only one boss that can drop you things, so in Holy Tower you're not gonna be making a lot of money. However, if you do get a yellow from the 2 or 3 yellows that do drop from the last boss in Holy Tower, then that's another 1 million kina. So we're gonna add, I don't know, maybe 4 million kina from Holy Tower, 4 cooldowns every week, and we're gonna continue. So what was it? Okay, cool. It was 38. So 4 plus 38 million equals 42 million from the entry-level instance content. I'm not gonna talk about Promethean's workshop because, or Promethean's workshop, because that dungeon is a little bit too complicated, and even if you can finish the last boss also, then yeah, it's not a beginner friendly dungeon and it's not a new player guide how to make easy fast kina. That's a bit more complicated. However, you can still enter Promethean's workshop just to kill the mini bosses which also drop yellows which also obviously sell for more kina. So do that if you have a group that wants to just kill mini bosses or whatever. I'm not even going to talk about it in this video. Now let's continue with other things that I personally do in terms of instance content. The Shugo laboratory, the cubicle Shugo laboratory. Now you can do 7 runs of that per week, which means 1 run every day. In the Shugo laboratory, and it's time for me to stop the background video and show you my bag. This is what I got, guys. The things that are highlighted I got after 1 hour of grinding. We're going to talk about them in a moment. So from the Shugo, the cubicle laboratory instance, which is absolutely easy. You can just completely be AFK from start to finish. You don't even need to participate. You can go have lunch. You can watch your series. You can, I don't know, do whatever else you want. It is a fantastic way, and I am very thankful for this way of making kina and doing some things, yeah. Cool, so from that you get bronze, silver and gold cubelets. If you get a gold cublet, for example, I will show you my cube. If you get a gold version of, for example, magic defense, yeah, or accuracy. Maybe you have enough accuracy in your profile. Maybe you don't need more for the time being for the things you want to do, right? Obviously, this is very important in PvP. And also, you know, accuracy is very important in PvP and in PvE as well. So they are important things. However, if you're, for example, a gladiator, you don't need the healing boost version of the cubicles, right? What is this? Healing boost. There you go. Why would you socket the gold this on a gladiator, on a sorcerer, and so on and so forth? So there's no point, rather sell them. So selling the gold version of these cubelets gives you a very nice income on a weekly basis. Depending how lucky you are inside the dungeon, depending how many drops you get and so on and so forth, which of these, you know, why do you need mana? You don't need mana, but maybe there is a class that wants to. Magical accuracy. Why do you need magical accuracy as a, I don't know, whatever class that's a physical DPS? So I'm just saying, right, there are many things that you can actually sell, and some things, even the golden version, you could, of course, keep for yourself. So the cubicle dungeon is a great way, great way of making money every week. Now these 2 cubelets I got actually today from 2 separate runs out of my 7. So I got kinda lucky. I might do a 5 more runs and get nothing in terms of gold. Why am I not talking about silver and bronze? Because they're untradeable, you cannot sell them. Only the gold versions you can sell. So I might get 5 unlucky runs and get no golds. However, out of these 2 golds, let's just calculate at a bare absolute minimum, out of 7 runs, let's see how much money we can make. So the cheapest is 999. If I place this on the broker with 800k, it's surely gonna sell right away. For 800k, I make another 1.5 million, and this one sells for 6.7 million a pop. So if I place this with 6 million, just because I don't care, on the broker, it's going to sell for 21 million Kina. So 1.5 plus 21, let's go to the calculator, plus 21 plus 1.5, there you go. We already have 64 million Kina for this week, if I get unlucky with my rest of my 5 runs in the cubicle laboratory. And we didn't even get to the grinding part, but we're gonna get to that right away. Cool. Grinding. This, what I have in my bag and is highlighted, is what I just showed you in the video. It was just a 1 hour session in the morning, nothing spectacular, yeah, in under the 4th there. So let's place all of these things on the broker and let's see exactly how much money do we get from them. So 139 of these fluxes, you can sell them definitely. They go very well, so there's no need to go very cheap with prices. 82k for one flux is a pretty cheap price because it's morning and people haven't woken up to buy them. So I'm also gonna put them, just for the sake of this video, just with 82k. 10 million from these, let's add them to the calculator, plus another 10. Let's continue with the purples. 85k for purples, 3.2 million of these, 3.2 plus. Let's go with the reds. Reds will never sell that well. 79k Kina for these. This is 2.1 million once more, plus 2.1. We have 80 million Kina, and 80 million Kina is without me selling my junk. I'm gonna sell my junk also just for you guys to see what's going on, yeah. 324k, let's sell these white item spots. We don't need absolutely anything. What kind of mana stone did we get? Oh, nice one. Crit strike 39, absolutely from, I didn't even see it. Another 700k, let's keep that in mind. And if you want to go absolutely crazy because you need Kina, you will place this on the broker. Also with, they sell very well, so I'm not gonna go cheap on this one. 6.9 million. Plus another 700k from the junk, that is 7.5 million Kina, plus 7.5 million Kina. That is 87 million Kina per week. The grinding that I did, and how much did my grinding get? Let's just calculate the fluxes. So it's 11 and it's 3, that's, I don't know, 14, 15. And then there's another 17 million, plus the 1 point something million, 18 million, 19 million is from 1 hour of grinding, not to mention the crit strike mana stone, yeah, which goes for another 6, so that's 25 million from 1 hour of killing mobs in Lacrum. 25 million per hour. I grind usually every day about 3 hours, so every day I can easily make 60 million, if not 70, if not even more if I get lucky on mana stones, yeah. So normally after a 3-hour grind for me with my class and my stats that I have, I can make easy 60 million a day. With 60 million a day, if I multiply 60 million a day, 60 million a day multiplied by 7 days, I make 420 million every week. Let me tell you how I spend my Kina, because this is also very important for you to know. I spend my Kina purchasing cash shop goodies from people that sell cash shop coins. How do I give them my Kina? It's really easy. They put something on the broker and I just purchase it. It is how it is. People trust me. I trust them. Of course, if the guy is named XXX Triple Hunter Scam You XXX, of course you shouldn't trust him with this kind of deals, right? I buy gifts from people. The things that I need from the cash shop, I buy them as gifts. Of course, I have a rule that every year I also deposit as much as a monthly subscription in World of Warcraft would be. So 12 euros multiplied by 12 months equals 150 euros I deposit every year myself, because that's what I want to do. And in terms of gifts, I buy them with my, what was it? I already forgot. 420 million it was from grinding every day, 7 days a week. You have to put in the effort, but it is rewarding in patch 6.2. So 420 from grinding, plus, I don't know, another 60 million a week from these dungeons that I sell drops to my special merchant right here. That's an easy 500 million that can be made on a weekly basis if you put in the effort into the game. Things don't come easy, but what you can do with 500 million a week is you can buy quite some of these, yeah? You have to find people that sell Aeon coins at a reasonable price, an updated price to what we can make now in terms of Kina. You have to find that, your supplier. I have a couple of them myself. These transformations, one contract costs half of a gold pack. If you go to the broker and you search for gold pack, let's see what crazy prices do we have now. For gold pack right now on Dayla, which is the best server to be on Osmodian side in Europe, you have 34 million for one gold pack. If I go again, sorry guys for the calculator, but it's very helpful. If I go again to my calculator and I divide, let's go super stupid. Let's just go 400 million this week because I'm just that lazy, let's say, yeah. 400 million divided by 34 million. Actually, why am I doing these stupid things? 400 million divided by 34 million. Simple. 11 gold packs I can purchase per week with my farmed Kina in game. Absolutely no real money required. 11 gold packs, and I've told you that one of these contracts is valued at half of a gold pack, so that means I can buy twice as many of these contracts. Multiplied by 2, this is how many transformation contracts I can personally buy every week. Last week, when I made this amount of money and when I got these gifts that I'm showing to you, I managed to get myself, I will show you my transformations list because that's what I spent my money on. This is what I got from the gifts that I acquired. Actually, let's just sort them by. This is the normal that I got. This is the large that I got. And I also was half lucky to get a yellow. Not that good for my class. But anyway, we'll try again next week, or actually this week. That's ongoing as I'm talking. So this, all of this, normal, large and ancient, was acquired through this amount of contracts which I received as gifts paid for them. So that is what I'm spending my Kina currently. I'm not gonna go crazy and spend all my Kina for the rest of my life on transformation contracts. I do not give a single shit about having a purple transformation contract. I'm gonna talk about it maybe in another video. I don't care, it is too expensive and it is not something that's going to make me be a god. Gear is gonna make me be a god and not a purple transformation contract, yeah. When there's gonna be a good offer, and maybe with my own money next year in December, next Christmas, with my 150 euro, the equivalent of a subscription, maybe I'm gonna try something with these. But until then, I simply just don't care. All I care about, and I'm gonna continue buying these contracts, is to get this one, and this is absolutely the only thing I need. It's either this or this. I'm satisfied with either. When I'm gonna get these ancients, I'm gonna try to spend my Kina on other more important things than transformations, which is gear. Crafted gear. With 400 million a week, if you make that, you can already buy on Dayla, not quite sure if it's on broker, maybe I should check. You can already buy on Dayla a red best polearm that some guy has crafted. In time, in a month, in 2 months, other people are gonna craft other things, and obviously 400 new million is very expensive for his fucking polearm. However, in time prices will go down, and with the amount of money that you can make in 1 week by grinding and putting the effort into the PvE stuff of things, then you can easily purchase not 1, not 2, but probably 3 or 4 red pieces of things. And that is how you spend your Kina wisely. Other things to spend your Kina on in terms of gifts from the cash shop, sure, there is those potions, the 20% potion, very nice. There is also this Luna chests. Maybe you wanna, I don't know, hurry up with some PvE gear, you wanna reset a couple of dungeons. Pay a guy for, I don't know, this 150 Luna, pay him the equivalent of 145 coins. How much is that? About 50 million. You can get that in 1 day, 50 million, and you can just pay the guy for 150 Luna. That is what I do, guys. I hope this video was useful for you. I'm sorry that it took so long. However, I wanted to teach you how to make Kina, how I'm making Kina, and to teach you how I'm spending Kina, so maybe you can also do the same. And this is how you can avoid depositing your own money if you don't want to. Not fully, you're not gonna be godlike with cash shop items by farming in game this 400-500 million a week. You're not gonna get there. However, it's going to be a big help in terms of at least getting a yellow or a good green, but this is what you should be hoping for. 3 weeks of spending all of your Kina on contracts, for sure you're gonna get out of 60 contracts, you're gonna get for sure 1 or 2 or maybe 3 yellows, depending on how lucky you are. And this is what I do, boys. This is what I'm planning to do in the future as well. There's other ways of making Kina with using the cash shop. I'm not gonna talk about that because the point of this video is not for you to deposit, buy gold packs and sell on the broker for Kina. That's not what I'm trying to teach you. You should deposit if you want to deposit. I deposit every year and I'm enjoying it. However, in terms of making Kina, you should put in the effort to do it in game and not through real life means. That is all for today, guys. I wish you lots of love as always. Thank you so much for watching and I'm gonna see you soon.